the top coaches of the decade, and we pretty much have, we
have a disagreement.
We have, oh yeah, yes, one big disagreement, and I noticed you have this gentleman at number one. Are you being sentimental because he has health problems and he's?
To be fair, I finished the list, and about 3 hours later, it came out that he was resigning or turned out to be taking a leave of absence. Went back and forth between him and Phil Jackson, and this is a debate we have had. Phil Jackson is a great coach. There's nothing to take away from him. He has 9 championships, 10 championships
yes.
now. Meyer went to Bowling Green, built a team, went at 17-6, goes to Utah, where didn't have any real great football tradition over since I can remember.
Right.
They go 22-2. They go undefeated.
And then Alex propels Alex Smith to be the first pick.
First pick in the draft. They beat Pittsburgh by I think 38-16. The first lower tier non-BCS conference team, which I'd mentioned before with TCU. Excuse me. The first team to win a BCS game that was not in a BCS conference. Excuse me. Then he goes to Florida. And in 5 years, he wins 2 titles. They're now the preeminent team. They've surpassed USC right now as the preeminent college football team. Texas also is in that discussion. I thought he built more. I thought he built it, as opposed to Phil Jackson, who I have number 2. So I'm not exactly denigrating him. Phil Jackson didn't build anything, and I realize every player who plays with him swears by him, but he had Kobe, he had Shaq. And then they lost Shaq, and they had a couple years further down.
Right.
And then
which he wasn't coaching him.
Yeah.
Which he wasn't coaching him. And this is what makes his coach, and this is why I have him number 1. The fact that he was able to come back when Shaq left, and also when Kobe was by himself, because people were questioning Kobe Bryant, how effective he would be, and we'll talk about him later. But the thing was that Phil came in and was able to establish that triangle and establish like a cohesiveness going on. And also, too, him and Kobe did not end on good terms. No. And the fact that they have not had any problems this second time around shows right there that it was also Kobe's maturity, but also, too, it was Phil also as well, being able to talk with him and be able to really have a common ground and a common understanding. And now the Lakers, they can win 2 more titles. And if Phil decides to stay after this year.
They're going to be the favorites for the next few years going forward.
Right, absolutely. And we both have, now, Geno Auriemma. We both...
I had him at 5.
5. Now, I have Geno Auriemma at 3. Now, 5 national titles, 2 undefeated seasons in a decade. I was thinking about putting him above Belichick, actually. But Auriemma, he built that program, too. How come you don't have him higher?
Well, why don't we have him higher? Because I give his team credit when we go to the best teams. That's where I give him the credit. Because we're talking about 8 million coaches, and there's only so many spots. He's right there. The only argument against Auriemma is how great is UConn's competition, but you can't really argue that because you can only play the
Big East is very solid.
Yeah. But just saying, but in the beginning of the decade, it's over the last few years, it's gotten stronger and stronger with Rutgers but he's right there.
Notre Dame, all those teams, and also too. But remember too, he was beating Tennessee every year.
Well,
that was the thing, defeating and also I think 9 Sweet 16, Elite 8 appearances, and then that one year they made the Sweet 16
and then lost. This past year where they didn't lose a game and they didn't have a game within single digits, which is one of the most amazing stats I've ever heard.
Amazing.
I have Joe Torre also.
Yes, I do, absolutely, because made the playoffs every season.
Year. One World Series win.
And in baseball, you only 4 teams per league.
Yeah. One World Series win, another appearance with the Yankees in 03, and he'll be right there.
And then with the Dodgers, LA Dodgers leading them to 2 NLCS appearances.
Yeah. And they'll be right there again next year with that pitching staff. So.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And the only other person I want to mention, I want to mention Tom Izzo. I think he's been the most consistent winner this decade.
In men's basketball,
in men's college basketball. 1 title, 4 Final Fours, probably another 2 or 3 Sweet 16s. Always tough, always a rugged team, never a team you want to play in the tournament. There's only one only one bad performance that I can think of, and I'll get to that when we get to biggest upsets.
Right, absolutely. And Tony Dungy I have as an honorable mention because this man, pillar of consistency with the Indianapolis Colts, you know, and the fact that they went up to another level when he was hired after Jim Mora, you know, and also too, Tampa Bay, people forget, Tampa Bay won that title right after he left, and John Gruden, like, respectfully said that Tony Dungy was the one that built this team, you know, and I'm glad that Gruden said that because Tony Dungy did build it.
We actually forgot one guy. We forgot Belichick.
Oh, Bill Belichick.
Which we both. Yeah, I mean.
You know, Belichick. Nothing else to say really about Bill Belichick.
Super Bowl appearances, 3 wins.
3 wins, yeah.
Damn shame about that 4th loss.
Yeah, that's right.
I was
G-Man.
crying over it.